Hey guys, how's it going? So today I want to take a look at everything that is coming with the new DLC for Anno 1800 Empire of the Skies by going over the recently released patch notes as well as discussing some major features on the dev blogs that have been released. So with that, let's jump over to the patch notes and see exactly what is changing with Anno 1800 Empire of the Skies. All right, so first and foremost is the important thing that a lot of people always ask about and no one ever seems to understand how to find it. It's the release date. So the release of this is going to be on September 20th at 3 p.m. UTC plus 2. So whatever time zone that is for you, that is what time Game Update 15, which is the update alongside Empire of the Skies, comes out. So let's take a look at some of the features and content. So obviously adding support for Empire of the Skies and the Clash of Couriers scenario. Now we have 10 new items coming that are not directly related to DLC 11. Most are tied to a DLC or a combination of DLC. So this is pretty interesting actually. So Mad Mary, no DLC required. Animal Nutritionist, that is going to be for DLC 10, that is Seeds of Change. Besson Animal Naturalist, that is going to be for Seeds of Change and for Land of Lions. Temperate Podologist, that again is going to be for Seeds of Change, and then, let's see, that's going to be Seeds of Change, and then DLC 8 or 9, that is going to be High Life and Tourist Season. The Tropical Podologist, again, it's the same thing as the one before. It's going to be for Seeds of Change and then High Life or Tourist Season. Synthetic Chemist is going to be DLC 10 and DLC 3. That is, again, Seeds of Change. And then DLC 3 is the Passage. So that's an interesting one right there with the Passage DLC. Arctic Gas Expert, again, this one is for Empire of the Skies for DLC 3. So that's going to be for Empire of the Skies, and if you have, for Arctic, for the Passage. That's a kind of an odd one right there, how it says 4. So Combustion Chemist, same as before, it's for Empire of the Skies and the Passage. New World Science Reporter, that is going to be for Empire of the Skies with DLC 6, which is going to be Land of Lions. And then Arctic Science Reporter is going to be for Empire of the Skies and then both Land of Lions and the Passage. So interesting combinations of DLCs there. Interested to see what these new items are going to do. However, I'm wondering, though, if maybe these items are related to the new item shop as well. We know that there are items coming with the new item shop that is going to be tied to the scenarios. So I wonder if these items are for that, or if there's something that's going to be new in the game that we can actually get without having to grind scenarios out. Yeah, I don't know yet. We'll find out. So the lifestyle needs, this is a really neat little system right here. New needs category has been added to all population tiers in all regions across all DLCs. They'll provide additional income and population without increasing the consumption of the regular needs. So basically think how workforce, percent workforce items work. Those would be the items that increase the amount of workforce available from a home within the range of a town hall, because those do not increase the consumption. Things that increase maximum population increase consumption, but this is a weird hybrid of the two. These increase your population without increasing the needs. So it's basically just free population. So pretty cool right there. Some are related to the base game, others are available when specific DLC are active. We can see right here an example of that. We have the mail system at the top right here, which is part of the Empire of the Skies DLC. And then the lifestyle needs is something coming regardless of if you have the DLC or not. And we don't know exactly. I can't see any indication of what this one might be for. I do think I saw someone, I'm going to go look for it here a second. I think I saw someone post a list of all the different lifestyle needs that was provided to us, but I'll go look for that in just a moment if I can remember to find it. But this one right here, you can supply furs, bear fur, and carpets to get some more people. So that's kind of neat. flamethrower monitor and a blue flamethrower monitor, specifically for the passage. 2 new monitor variants available via the Steam Shipyard with extra damage against wooden ships. Okay, so we got some basically they're basically Pythorian monitors, because we already have a Pythorian monitor that kind of throws flames. So this is a variation of that, it seems. A couple of new tower types: a flamer tower unlocked at artisans, and then an anti-armor tower unlocked at engineers. Both of them have bonuses against wooden ships and armored ships, respectively. So some new towers, and we can see pictures of those right here. Got a little the anti-armor tower and then a flamethrower tower, and then here is the flamethrower monitor. And again, this is basically a variation of the Pythorian warship that we already have access to. Moving down to balancing, increasing the maximum impact radius of the Hacienda to 75 from 40. This is something that a lot of people have been begging for, and so they are finally giving it to them. So increasing that almost double. I don't know why they didn't just go to 80. Why 75? It's a weird number, but hey, you're getting a larger radius for the Hacienda. Much rejoicing. Corrected Docklands exchange values for dung, fertilizer, hot sauce, and Atoli. Those exchange values were incorrect. We had known about that for quite a while, and so they are correcting that now. Resize the Arctic airship, now a Bordias class, to 90% to better fit to the new airship. So literally, they're shrinking it down by 10% of its original size to fit in with the new airships. And this applies whether you own the DLC Empire of the Skies or not. Added a chain of debuffs for certain weapon types. Now, this is kind of interesting right here, actually. Damages by torpedoes, anti-armor tower, and the new flamethrower tower, plus the monitor, also trigger a debuff chain. The chain consists of 3 debuffs appearing one after another, based on a timer, each weaker than the previous. So they have an example right here, the torpedoes. So on its first impact, it decreases the hit points by 100, movement speed by 100%, attack speed by 99%. And that lasts for 52 seconds. The next is Shaken. Reduces the speed by 50%, attack speed by 20%. And then the final one is just a movement speed debuff. So interesting little things they're doing right there. Can't wait to see what the flamethrowers and the anti-armor do. General improvements overall for the game. Quick match condensed the selection. Now only a 2-player quick match option is present. Okay. Who does quick matches still, right? Show of hands. Literally no one does quick matches anymore because no one can get into a quick match because no one does it. Everyone looks for multiplayer either on the Annoverse Discord or they just play with friends. I don't know many people at all. There might be 10 people in the world that do quick match. So yeah, okay. Adjusted the UI of both shipyards. This change was done to be more consistent with the airship hangar. So just a nice little consistency update between the various ship buildings, as it were. So we're going from the old system right here to this new little square icon system right here, just to make it look consistent across the different buildings. And this, why did it take you guys almost 4 years to put this in the game? Like, for real. Why did it take you 4 years to finally do this? Added a marker for already owned items at traders. You can already see it has a little box. We have been asking for this legitimately for 4 years now. Since before the game launched, we've been asking for this. It took them 4 years to put a little marker on the stupid icons. Like, my God. Thank you. Finally. When we're nearing almost end of life for development on the game, you finally give us the stupid little icon marker so I don't have to sit there and constantly flip back and forth. Ugh, jeez. Added a shortcut to jump to the place on the map for the last notification. Again, thank you. Awesome. By default, the shortcut is control space. Kind of weird, but okay. Notifications for game save, quests, and ongoing expeditions are ignored. That's kind of nice, actually. Although the quests, maybe not. I have to kind of play around with that, because sometimes I like to know where the quest is at, especially if it's one that just pops up. Like, you might just get a pop-up quest where the AI will sail to your harbor and give you a quest. Well, you might be in the New World, and the quest is given to you in Mbessa. But then you have to kind of pop around to the different regions to see where that quest is has been given to you. So it would be kind of nice if that would work. So that might be something. Declining war in alliances. Players are no longer drawn into conflicts by default. Jesus Christ, thank you so much. No matter if the alliance partner is attacking or getting attacked, players can now decline the request. This ends the alliance. Just FYI, this was sort of already doable, but just by pressing the X on the dialogue box, you could basically already do that. But the fact that they're making it an official thing that you can actually do now, instead of maybe the dialogue box thing wasn't supposed to happen in the first place, so they're making it an actual thing now. Again, we have been asking for this so long. The diplomacy system in this game needs so much work, and this is at least a step in the right direction. Added a function to one group selection of ships to another group selection of ships. When a defined group is selected, players can shift button press to add another defined group. So that's pretty nice if you have two control groups of ships, like 1 and 2. Now you can, and you want to combine them, instead of having to pull them all together and drag select them all again, you can just have both and then hold down shift. So very, very nice. And then so many bug fixes. I'm not even going to go down through all of these, but there are a number of bug fixes that have been plaguing several things in the game for quite a while. But it is really nice. A lot of these have to do with the scenarios as well. Quite a few of these bug fixes have to do with scenarios. So a lot of bug fixes. We always love to see that. So if you're interested in all of these bug fixes, be sure to check out the patch notes. The link will be down in the description. So with that, let's pop over to the dev blogs and take a look at those real quick and look at some of the highlights that are coming with the Empire of the Skies DLC. All right, the first one we are going to take a look at was actually released back on August the 16th. And yeah, I know I'm way behind on covering the blogs, but just haven't done it. So we're going to just briefly take a look at some of these. So this one is about the airships, about the flow and how it works. The first part is just talking about how they designed the airships and how they went through the testing on them. It's actually a pretty interesting little read on how they decided to come up with the different airship models and to finally come up with the final model, for example, the large cargo airship, which, you know, I actually do think it looks pretty cool. I love the design. I may question the content, but you cannot deny that the artwork in the game still just impresses. It's so good looking. So moving on to actual stuff about the airships, there will be 5 new airship classes split into 2 categories: rapid and cargo. Rapid airships are significantly faster than the rest, but come with a limited cargo space, useful for urgent deliveries, but not so much for big trade routes. There are 2 types of rapid airships, a small and a medium one. Both come in an unarmed and an armed variant, the latter making these perfect for trade routes, trade route raids, or to protect your own islands from enemy airships. So pretty cool right there. And then cargo airships are your go-to vessels for trade routes. The 3 types, small, medium, large, are unarmed, but are more useful when you want to carry out drop actions. More on that later. And they can also carry more cargo. The Zephyr class has a total of 8 cargo slots. So pretty interesting. It looks like we're getting a Zephyr class, a Hermes, and then like a Harpy class for the different types. And we got some pictures of them right here. Obviously, this is likely the Zephyr class right here. I believe this might be the Harpy class, and then the Hermes class. That's what I'm thinking those are. So the 3 different classes, then a couple of them are armed. Not sure if we can tell if they are, which one is the armed. Actually, yeah, you can. Let me, well, without going crazy, I can actually tell right on top of this one right here. You can see a little gun. It's hard to tell, but on top of this right here, there's a gun. So it has a top-mounted gun turret on it for that one right there. So pretty neat. I do like the designs. Very interesting. Some unique designs, especially this kind of like squat, fat one. It's a very interesting design right there for that thing. So now that we've seen some comments on questions on the usefulness of existing airships, so they're going to be talking now about the old airship from the Arctic. The old airship is still useful and falls somewhere in between the small and medium cargo ships in terms of speed and cargo capacity. You'll also be able to use both the Arctic gas as well as the new helium airship, the new helium for airship construction. Arctic gas gives your airships a speed boost, but on the other hand, results in a higher cargo slowdown and in taking more damage when attacked. So that is really, really important to note. You can build the new airships with gas from the Arctic if you want to, and they do have a bonus of additional speed, but they're going to have a higher cargo slowdown and they will take more damage. So an interesting little trade-off right there. And there will be some new items that use Arctic gas beyond the previous requirements of electricity and airship construction. So, talking about speed, the new airships are impacted by wind, but thanks to their engines, not quite as much as your regular sailing ships, but more than steamships. The Boreas class receives the strongest penalty, that's the Arctic airship, and all new airships get a speed boost when going with the wind, especially the rapid airships will be true to their name. So this is going to maybe kind of throw your trade routes into an interesting situation where we're going to have to explore what's better. Will the Great Eastern still be the king of trade routes, or will this new Zephyr class be the king of trade routes? Will the airships replace clippers once you have them unlocked? Will they be better than a clipper? And then maybe have a mix of airships and Great Easterns, or maybe still use reefers for your edge of map to edge of map hub islands and stuff like that. So some interesting things that might come from this. So talking about hangars, the new hangar is going to be constructed in the New World, and it will be constructed with aluminum for the new airships as well as for the material for the hangar itself. It's also used for some of the construction buildings. Now, there's also going to be a new mine slot called bauxite, and bauxite, along with coal, is used to produce aluminum. Next is going to be the helium, and the helium, it doesn't talk about it here, but it talks about it in the other dev blog, which we're going to cover real quick. And the helium is also made at a mining slot. However, it requires input. So it's a kind of a production building built into a mine slot, and it will require saltpeter, palm oil, which is a new material as well. Actually, now I done forgot how it was made. We'll take a look at it, and I know it has clay in there. I remember seeing clay. It's clay and lubricant. That's what it was. It was clay and lubricant, and the lubricant was made with saltpeter and something else, and we'll take a look at it here in just a minute when we get over there. So add some sailcloth steam machines, and if required, some cannons, and you're ready to build your first modern airship. So that's going to be important to know that you're going to need sails, steam machines, so steam engines, and then cannons if you want to make them a combat airship. So that, plus the aluminum and your helium or Arctic gas, and that's going to be required to build your airships. Airships and combat. Airships are the only things in the air that can attack each other. Airships cannot attack ground ships unless they have bombs on them, which is part of the new drop mechanic. So airships can attack other airships, but cannot attack ground targets unless they have bombs equipped on them. Now, your airships can also be attacked from the ground by flak cannons, as well as the new flak monitor ship. So, two new ways to defend your harbors and your trade routes from airships from the sea. So, pretty cool right there. More ships, more emplacements. Now, putting airships to good use, obviously that's going to be the new mail system, as well as the trade routes themselves, and then the drop feature. So you'll be able to craft things that you can drop from airships, those being things such as mines or sea mines, fight fires, cause damage by bombing, create unrest with propaganda, or raise the mood of people by dropping care packages. I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm not big on micromanaging kind of stuff like that. The mood of the people thing might be interesting depending on how long the buff from the happiness buff from the drop lasts. That way, maybe you can have an island that normally has really low happiness, and you can artificially boost that a little bit with some airship drops, depending on the length of it. So, might be pretty interesting right there. So, that's just a quick overview of how airships are going to work and what they will be used for. So, let's jump over to the last dev blog and take a more in-depth look at some of these features real quick. All right, so this is the dev blog that came out later. It came out on the 30th of August, and it kind of goes into a little bit more detail. We're not going to read through every bit of it. We're going to touch on the highlights. Now, they do talk about the new production chains. The new production chains, we talked about already the aluminum. It requires coal and bauxite. And then there is the helium, and it was fish oil. So the palm oil press uses fish oil and saltpeter to create lubricant. Combine lubricant with clay, and that is how you will extract helium from the new helium mine. They do talk about a couple of the items right here. So we have Mad Mary, the dynamite enthusiast. With this item, mines will process dynamite instead of mineral resources, and it will greatly increase their output. That's pretty interesting, actually. I'm interested to see how that item will work. And then the Arctic Gas Expert. This item can be researched or bought from the local trader, and it allows you to use industrial lubricant in Arctic gold mines in order to produce more gas. So that's really cool. That's just more. People have always been asking for ways to produce more gas. Right now, there are only two items that affect gas mines. That is the gritty gas extractor and the music box. Now, while those two things do greatly increase your output, especially if you clip those your Arctic lodges over top of your gas mines, you can produce a significant amount of gas. But everyone is always craving more Arctic gas, so this is going to be a way to do it. You just have to remember that you'll need to transport lubricant to the Arctic region. Then we have the airship platform, which is the main hub for your airships on the islands, and they're going to come with a few modules that can be attached to them. The one that really got me really excited was the item transfer module. This allows you to transfer items between islands as long as they have an item transfer building on there. That way you don't have to transfer items via ships and having to sit there and wait for your items to be brought over. Now you can do it automatically. The airmail module, again, this is part of the whole core mechanic with the mail and everything. That way you can send mail between your islands and generate local mail, international mail, and regional and all that kind of stuff. And then the airship commuter, which is the commuter pier, which everyone has been asking for a long time. So this will allow us to transfer workforce between New World islands and treat it just like the old world, basically, to have islands of population and then islands of production without having to have local population or zero workforce stuff going on. So talking about the mail system a little bit real quick. There is the mail is part of the new lifestyle needs for your residents, and it provides additional income and more population. There will be local mail, which is distributed locally on the same island. Regional mail, which is distributed between islands within the same session. So between islands in the New World, you can transfer mail between islands of the New World, and this is regional mail. And then overseas mail, which is obviously between different regions and sessions. And there's a little quick thing about the lifestyle needs, which we've already kind of discussed and talked about. So the mail is done via post offices and post boxes. Both buildings have a radius, and you should place them strategically in residential areas. The more residents in range, the more local mail will be gathered. While the post boxes are easier to place as they take very little space, only one tile, their range is smaller than the post office. Another thing to keep in mind is that the radiuses cannot overlap between each other. So, yay, more Tetris, having to figure out how to maximize your mail coverage now with your layouts. Local mail is consumed by your residents on a specific island, while to obtain regional overseas mail, you'll need to transport mail via the air mail module and therefore airships. In terms of numbers and percentages, about half of the local mail produced by your residences will be needed to fulfill their lifestyle need for local mail. This means the remaining is used to produce regional and overseas. So there is a production balance there of mail. All of your people generate one type of mail, and it's all consumed locally, and whatever is not consumed, your overproduction of mail, is what's used, and it's turned automatically into different types of mail depending on where it's going. So it's pretty interesting right there. So there is a new type of trade route available through the airmail module. It will be airship only trade route to transport the mail around. And they are kind of talking just a little bit about what I just talked about. The mail is all the same, and then it gets changed automatically between the different types. What about the Arctic? Well, while the Arctic platform of the plateaus follows the same rules as when it was introduced back in 2019, a special standalone mail module will be added for them with the Empire of the Skies. For the regular islands, a modified airship platform has also been added that has this one module. So again, all the regions will have access to this mail system, and you can put this mail system in various regions. If you have the Land of Lions, you will have access to a fourth type of mail called New World Reports. These can be generated by a new specialist, the New World Science Reporter, that can be hired at the Research Institute. Okay, well, that answers my question earlier about the items in the patch notes and if they were part of the item shop or not. And here we go, they're not. They're just new items, so yay. To gather these reports, you will need to equip the New World Science Reporter in a town hall placed in the radius of a post office. Reports can then be provided to scholars who will use them to boost their research. So, nice little tie-in right there. And then more stuff about the drop goods right here, talking about all of those. The pamphlets, the care package, water, bombs, and sea mines, which I've already talked about. And of course, ornaments. Everyone does love their ornaments. There will be 8 brand new ornaments that will go perfectly with the whole DLC theme. Things such as cafes, cafe tables, and a clock, and so on. And then the last thing to talk about is just the military changes, which we've already gone over in the patch notes right there. And they do have a little view right here. As always, there is a robust and very detailed tutorial system and explanation system built into the game for how all of this works if you get confused. You can find that by clicking the question mark symbol in the top left corner of the object menu. That's the menu that's like down in the right hand corner of the screen when you click on like the airship dock building or something, or the airship hangar, either one of those, or any of the post offices, any of the buildings related to the DLC. There'll be a question mark icon. You can click that to get a tutorial. So I believe that does it. That covers everything coming in tomorrow's update. Things that are going to be coming regardless of the update or not, are the military changes, as well as some of the other changes that we talked about in the patch notes that are not listed as DLC specific. And then, of course, the airship stuff is specific to the DLC. So the lifestyle needs, other than the mail, is part of the base game now, whether you have the DLC or not. So you'll be able to supply that. The new flamethrowers and anti-armor towers, all of that stuff is free update stuff and not DLC specific. So, all right, that is it for me today. As of the time of this coming out, don't forget that I am live streaming early access to this on September the 16th at 3 p.m. CEST, which is Central European Summertime. So 3 p.m. Central European Summertime, I am live streaming early access to this content if you want to come and check it out for yourself and see how it all plays together. That, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Take care.